My pineal gland expands when I'm between the living and dead. Here is euphoria and numbness in its absolute. Everything affects you like a cloud shrouding you, yet there's light inside if you just close your eyes. Within is a universe you control, the gateway to truth. And among all the lies that people pick and choose, always remain you. Even though we wear masks, each expression gives clues. Because by nature, we are like turtles getting scared. All you could do is hide. We can't run from our fears, but we can understand them. And from that, we evolve. And even though we don't fly out of cocoons when we're reborn, at least one expression is new. And that might brighten someone's day, but it's no use if you push that gift away. That gift is only earned by living in the present. Wisdom is earned, that's an important lesson. The teachings of life won't prepare you for death's test, and so we must stop anticipating. There may be no tomorrow. Hi, my name is Justin Percival. My Nishka name is qiqéyt, and it translates to fearless. I'm from a Nishka nation. I'm from the Ganeta tribe, the Frog Clan. I was born here in Vancouver, but I consider myself a visitor as I'm not from these lands, and I want to acknowledge the lands that we are on, the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam peoples, the Coast Salish peoples. And I'm gonna share my second piece, and it's called Junkie. Desire and passion is what makes me an addict. My emotions and pain is what keeps me going and also makes me the saddest. I'm always looking for my next fix. I have responsibilities to do, but I guess I'll put it on my next list. My addictions will only take me over if I let it, but I'm a junkie. It's way beyond letting it. I lie to myself because I know I'm dependent, and lies is what makes me a devil's descendant. He chokes me so I can't tell my truth, so I guess his hands act as my pendant. And for the record, I put myself here. I'm the one searching and making my head unclear. I act tough, but trust me, I'm full of fear. I'm fully responsible in my past because I'm the one who steered. I can see the lighthouse when my boat is broken, and my feet and hands are dirty, more like soaking. I rode the waves too long and now I'm gonna sink, but this is the path I've chosen. I know I'm gonna drown with the next wind that blows in. Next piece I would like to share is called Hope. You don't know the feeling of free like me. Holding on to dreams are key. Sometimes it takes a whole year to put it together piece by piece. This joint in my mouth isn't the only way I seek some peace. My biggest weapon is my mind, but it don't shoot unless I breathe. So the sword I sheathe, an ocean of thoughts, call me Lord of Seas. You can recognize yourself looking at still waters. In a storm is where I see my reflection most. I see the soul, and the light through the clouds leads the hope. You could say, I know my way. I'm not afraid to show some pain. How else is hope attained? You're not always going to get saved like Lois Lane, so pull yourself up. The most beautiful art pieces has scars and cuts. There was once this kid who grew up in the skids, only knew how to throw up his fist. Here there's no such thing as peace, at least it's what he thought. Every day saw somebody shot right up on the block. You see ages change, but a sword turned into a Glock. For him it was life and death, not for showing off. He didn't need no bitch anyways, he was better off alone. This is survival of the fittest, always wearing a hoodie hidden, didn't realize his dreams could be visions to a better place, but always turned them away. All he knew was pain, it's in his veins, wanted things to be different, but it was the same. Only had himself to blame, not for making a change. Every day he took what he want, while his demons just haunt. Awake or asleep, they knew the spot, right into his thoughts. Now look at what it brought. The presence of gift, but he wouldn't dare look into that box. You think he could handle what he saw? Is the light that he lost. All he knew was dark past, now look what it cost. His soul. The next pieces I would like to share is called Downtown East Side. There's a part one and part two. Welcome to the downtown east side, the place where treaties die. Trans Mountain makes the seasons die. Where's the snow? That powder hides. There's always two views, but y'all can't be even-eyed. The place where eagles glow, you can see the pride. Heroes die when you shoot them down, no more eagles fly. Now they're left on the ground homeless. I swear we've lost a vision of where hope is. Coping is all I see on the streets. You can't see our paths are chosen. We're choking on all our lies and going into boasting, posting photos of the cauldron. Now I'm hopeless. I want to change. I know I'm not the only one for this. I mean, yes, we became a little more diverse, became a little calm, getting insight first, but it's clear you can't hide hurt. When is enough enough? We've been down lately. I'm waiting till we're going up, and we're left alone. We're more than stuck in quicksand until we're losing the Vancouver sun. My busking cousin couldn't even remember my name. We aren't family. Get out of my way. Yeah, so much for movements ending the pain. We need action, but our voices just don't have a say. How come the poor can never feel safe? There's always an expectation no one can make. Things just aren't the same. I wish I could go backwards down memory lane. So much stories never heard, yet we have the power to listen. One set of years could stop me from addiction. One point of view could change my decision, but the boy who cries wolf only hears, "You've got to be kidding." So much names lost in the system. We only repeat ourselves because the message isn't sticking. So why do we wait until it's too late? Tell me how death from an overdose is called fate. Just a simple hi as we cross paths can change my day. Hi there, how are you? Are you okay? Some of us just want to be left alone, but let's face it, life is hard and we can't do it all on our own. I've been there. A loss of opportunities the city can offer me, forcing me into poverty. Anyone would want to escape. Sometimes the most dangerous thing you could do is give a space. Check up on me, or I might be another missing name. So this next piece I would like to share is called Reconciliation. I got the inspiration of writing this poem watching Indian Horse with my grandpa. And after I could feel the heaviness he was holding and the heaviness of the stories that he told me. And not just him, my grandma as well. And I feel like it's important to share this poem right now, considering what's happening in Kamloops right now. And my grandma had actually went to that residential school, so I feel the need to share this. There's something we've all learned from suffering, from our chiefs to the man Martin Luther King. They try to take our voices and traditions so we can't sing. Then they phone for help, I ignore the ring. This is the power of British Parliament. They take our land and expect some rent, but they can't break our spirits, can't make a dent. We are their kryptonite and they're Clark Kent. Heal the Indian within. Intergenerational residential school survivors. Their teaching just made us stronger warriors. They beat us till the dawn of day. Now we can identify abuse from a mile away. They still mad they can't have a say. They think it's a game, but we don't play. After everything, I still hear my ancestors' drumbeat, and I continue expressing myself through my feet. They think it'll be all okay with a fake apology and a check saying, "Here's your blood money." Well, I think it's all bullshit if you ask me. Especially the fact they cut down our trees and moved our communities in the middle of nowhere. But who's to say that they even cared, even after all that we have shared? I can't believe that they even dared. Guess what, Johnny McDonald? I still smudge with my feather. Still wear my traditional leather. Still dance under any weather. Because of you, I'll overcome any pressure. We overcame genocide, all with pride, nothing no government can hide. Go ahead, tell them it's all a lie. My heart goes out to all the lost children, especially the ones who lost the rhythm. The ones afraid to speak, I pray for them that the mouths will peak them all in peace after our unholy deeds. We are decolonized, no take-home prize. After all your governmental lies kill our spirits, go ahead and try. You made my people cry, but in my eyes, your spirit is the one who dies. Remember, we have a choice. Pass on abuse or tradition. Just make our kids feel joy. Hope they have said enough to make you listen. I know we all have heavy baggage. That's why we have stories and language. This is the road to reconciliation, even if the government didn't give us recognition. Hopefully I speak for every nation. This is a silent revolution. Church's teachings is just pollution. Yes, I know they made us suffer, but I know what made us tougher. They identify us with just a number, killed my ancestors in their slumber. Ever wondered where the idea of concentration camps came from? From all the churches, yes, we ain't dumb. Priests are just as bad as Nazis. Want to shut me up, just try and stop me. Can't stop these flashbacks of these tortured nuns using a roll of whackabacks and must be holding guns. They made us scrub blood for us until our knees got sore and called it education. Memories of brick walls, I might as well be a mason. Taking our innocence first by cutting their hair. I know that's something that's hard to share or even bear. No wonder why we're all stuck in our addictions. We can all heal with tradition. I can go on forever, but this is something I'll always remember.
This first poem is about my nostalgia for my hometown, which is also my mom's hometown, inland just a few hours from Manila. The first half of the poem is this unreliable but very vivid memory of being a kid and loving the evasion of responsibility. And the second half is about the last time that I was there just a couple of years ago and still not being ready to accept responsibility. Tarlac trip. From the Victory liner and into the Tarlac Jeep, I sit in the back seat under cloth canopy, scent of burning charcoal from roadside stalls, farm garbage, organ meat, and imported duty-free Marlboro Reds. I start to feel giddy as the dim orange streetlights become sparser as we move towards Amukau. In this small village stretch, we pass at least 2 churches. Mama tells a story at my expense, how I used to make the sign of the cross at houses I wrongly perceived as holy, like bungalows with antennas or non-Trinitarian denominations. The cemetery's coming up, that grid of unstained concrete with its melted candles, withering offerings in shacks with iron bars. Cousin Kim and I duck, heads between our knees, moving our gaze away from spirits that have never left this place. I share DNA and a cancer placement with my grandmother. Our mirror neurons firing, holding both our tears back at this 3-day-long goodbye. When I first landed in the Philippines, I thought nothing of inheritance, thought vaguely about legacy, as if faraway mythical concepts. I scoffed at diaspora poems, honed my Tagalog accent, washed my ass with a tabo, and called it a day. In Amukau, we stayed at Imaz, a concrete shell of the home it once was, a lonely nest whose world-wide birds rely on FaceTime and Western Union transfers. Ima asks to come in, spends a few moments looking for something. She quietly sits down on the edge of the bed, fidgeting on some jewelry. She turns to me with a necklace and a bracelet in her palms. Later on, I meet my soul while checking in my luggage at Ninoy Aquino Airport, as it dawns on me that I have let the moment pass. The offer of real live heirlooms that I have politely refused. Twin Soul. Every night, I brace myself for signs of human trespass in my home. The 5th step on the stairs is a dead giveaway, creaks only with the weight of a whole person. I wait until the early dawn when it is safe to sleep again. Sometimes I lay awake, and there is Maria with the long black hair, eerily crooning, Ating kupong sing sing, wandering around a Hastings sunrise street. But how did she get here? Did she come from the Richmond IKEA, witness titas screech and kiss at each other, longed for a home, a ring, o masanting a babae? I interrogate the noise with cold hands, carefully feel the vibration of each verse's syllable in the floorboards. Her voice trails in and out as she passes heritage homes, none of which are hers. Her body, a noiseless, legless silhouette, only her barren song making its way directly under my window, as if to prophesy once again that the Spanish are coming, the Americans are coming, the Japanese are coming, and that there are no poet laureates among the riverbank people. Pa'alam. Some nights, I love myself enough to leave the party. Anxiety is a whisper network that's unsupportive and also looking out for you. Sometimes it's more interesting than rude when you don't announce you're leaving. The possibility sweetens the air on a Thursday night on the way to the party. When I leave, I go with a canned excuse that runs a few sentences too long. If I stay, I will talk about my mother, which I don't mean to weaponize. I don't want to talk about my mother. It feels disingenuous to have all my neuroses, fear of losing my keys, hair, beauty, youth, homeland, relative stability, compartmentalized into mommy issues. There are things more urgent than this bullshit melancholic narrative written into trite verses about going back to my roots, a mother tongue plagued with imposter syndrome on top of imposter syndrome, from re-inhabiting a language I spoke for the first 12 years of my life, slipping on the syllables to resurrect a ghost. Instead, I conjure up a bedsheet apparition, cry only in English, receive a massage, clumsily tell you where my pain is, pointing underneath my shoulder blade, only to find the pain has migrated. It is both an heirloom and a travel document. My body hurts from work, or I work until my body hurts. This is my body now. I'm not caught between two worlds. I am talking to you, reluctantly, at this party, where I have revealed far too much again. My face flushed with hiya, I grit my teeth through our grateful codes of conduct, the protocol of a long goodbye. Finally, I managed to utter, "Pagod na ako, may pasok na naman bukas. Thank you for having me anyway." This next poem is about the mistake of hooking up with a white boy. It's called Alt Boy. This bottle blonde bitch isn't like the other boys. He paints his nails and makes out with other girls in front of you. He'll take a punch. You don't even have to ask. He knows he has the face of someone you want to hit. He's 90s music video hot, hair with a middle part that you're meant to run your fingers through. Instead, you poke fun and ask if the safety pin pierced on his earlobe is ironic. He's not over the greatest love of his life, and he likes it that way. He was willing to die on many hills, but mostly he just wanted to die. Is he a dream boy or something? From this point in the poem, you will refrain from mythologizing him and his sad, evil dick any further. You found nothing romantic about his pain, but you fetishize yours. So you fuck on the table with a great force of early 20s teen angst, desperate to feel something tragic, the musical stylings of Charles Manson playing over a muted black and white movie. Executive dysfunction. Last summer, I was taught to walk in a room like I owned it. The trick is to do it crotch first, Katie instructed me in a sweaty, rented studio. I highly suggest trying it, but only if you've never invoked the feeling, or if you've always felt small. I oscillate between knowing the big truth about the universe, accepting its flaws and conditions, and hiding in my windowless room. Between being able to look people in the eye and not knowing why I have so much anger, forgoing human touch too long, waking up with teeth and fists clenched. I fluctuate between anxious and meditative cleaning, but mostly piles of things make sense. For times of survival and thriving, junior chicken, McDouble, fries, and hot mustard. If you love me, let me know, multiple times a day, consistently, in the right tone of voice, but not too much like you're trying to convince yourself. As harm reduction, I'm telling myself I'm allowed to self-sabotage once a month, and I haven't used it up yet. I'll never know which exact body part aches, which ones feel desire, always needing a reminder to plant my feet firmly back to earth, rehearsing to release the words building up in limbs and joints and undecided organs. I've given up on trying to fix my posture or any of the breathing exercises. I'll never be a fully embodied anything. The big truth is that I will never be the spitting image of health and wellness, but it doesn't mean that I'm trying to die again. Sometimes I get tired of being funny. Ever want to have life-affirming revenge, but for yourself, like you know you'll be okay, but you almost resent yourself for it? Marching up the drive, crotch forward, half smile, overtaking everyone on the sidewalk.
Shout out to Amok Beats for the beat. This piece is called Curated. Feel this deepening connection, our past cross for a reason to share in this relational conversation, sinking deeper to our initial foundation, a subterranean look into your ancestry, that hallway extending deeper than you can see, lit with the spirit world torchlight, sit in our unlimited whole foresight, feel it wrap around your ankles and submerge. Hear the voice in the wind is wishing us to live, the land speaking to me, land speaking to you. Hear the voice in the wind is wishing us to live and live and live and live and live. Breathing deep, that first fresh air after all the forest fires that have burned near. Tectonics underground have shifted here. Breathing that first fresh air. From echoes in this valley, flowing drum song gusts blowing into cedar and spruce through trauma that recently bloomed in the garden of schools too. The children secretly scoop past the control of sacred dreams. Yo, charcoal burned by colonial regimes. Past 5-century fever of pyrexia in ties of storms emerging from millennia of contracts well kept with the land. Witnesses holding our honor to stand for the 777 generations in hand. Past colonial lines marked in the sand. Hear the voice in the trees, the land speaking to me, land speaking to you. What I know is true. Hear the voice in the trees, the land speaking to me, speaking to you. What I know is this is our growth. our turmoil to the holy field for something greater, more than a burden and guilt of duty to build and enjoy. Crosses only crucify, while the medicine wheel unites four directions. Learning on the ground, transform what is down to the mounds of her words that we are bound. We scream the sound aloud, aloud, aloud. We will never abdicate pledges made to recreate, bonding with celebrity, dumping their austerity, forging solidarity, laughing out hysterically. In the eyes of new storms, relationships form. Eye contact, faces warm. Iris fully lit with the torch of purpose. Honeyed hazel, earthen, golden, green, gray. Sharp and hail with focus, we find clean ways. Wind sailing oceans, rejuvenating space. See the fields opening out from the forest. The orange and yellow autumn leaves shed his aggression and indifference for devotion and deliverance. Hear the voice in the trees, the land speaking to me, the land speaking to you. What I know is true. Hear the voice in the wind is wishing us to live and live and live and live and live. Hear the voice in the trees, the land speaking to me, land speaking to you. What I know is true. Hear the voice in the wind is wishing us to live and live and live and live and live. Masicho. Tanse Edlanate Tawahum Nitsika san Seze Tawahum Suyi. My name's Tawahum. I'm from Lutsoke Dene and I'm Plains Cree on my mom's side. Setsi John Thomas E. Isidore Thomas, Setsune Mary Crooked Hands, Aqua Nookum, Teresa Dume. So excited to be here at Fifth Chord Studios in New West, working with Arts Council New West and Stephen O'Shea on this beautiful, beautiful lineup, Poets Plus. And I'm really excited to get to share not just poetry with you, but music with you, and for all the other folks who are sharing music and poetry and everything else that they have to share in these showcases. So this next poem is called Mr. Beck's New Evidence. And I wrote it while I was going through the court systems for my land protection work against resource extraction and pipelines in solidarity with the host nations. So yeah, Mr. Beck's New Evidence, it goes like this. Call it the ex-cop diaries of the traveling hierarchies. Needle nose, executive suite, it's conjecture, my lord, but I believe he does cocaine. This man put men in cuffs for 36 years before becoming security manager for Trans Mountain. He dons a Harper haircut and stands with entitlement abreast of red-coated, fur-traded, gold-mined, court-ordered, fort-bordered, drawn-quartered, pox-spreaded, deregulated, wealth-hoarded, mass-sacred, live-backward, booze-smuggled, gun-holstered, blade-scabbard, treaty broker, baby-boomer, divide-conquered, townhouse-gated, clan-faded, children taken, bloodbath-weighted, correctly stated, minds of race and Canadian valued, settler, soldier. Except, instead of spreading disease and igniting cannon, he watches camera and pushes pencils to lay his pipes to rest. This man, he lays his pipes to rest. He lays his pipes to rest. This man, he lays his pipes to rest. He lays his pipes to rest. This man, he lays his pipes to rest. He lays his pipes to rest. He lays his pipes. He lays his pipes to rest. This man, he lays his pipes to rest. He lays his pipes. He lays his pipe. He lays his pipes to rest. He lays his pipes. He lays his pipes. Pipes, he lays them to rest. They lay their pipes to rest. They lay pipes to rest. My spirit wakes again. Workers, they stand abreast, wearing reflective vests. Police checkpoint ahead while their judge sits on a bench. Forest blaze across continents. Yo, smell this putrid stench. Trucker high on a seat. Merson, AR-15, smelling diesel fuel green, sludge, thick maple leaf, a quill, an inkwell, injunction registry trading, furs, lies, gold coins and beads. Will we come back? Will we come back to her? Will we come back to our path? Straight back to her. If we don't come back to her, we won't come back at all. We won't come back at all. We won't come back. Divided, captured. They make the bucket and we are the crab. It's without a treaty. But with enclosure they seize the land, yo, their laws are bullshit. Discarding their own science lab, whispers in English courtroom where they set the trap. Trans mountains camped in Qiqéyt, past shown on Google Maps. Overtime clocked and bacon sizzling for cash. Bitumen now sinking in the lake of wrath. When the eagle feathers burn, it will all turn to ash. And this next poem is called Boy, at least right now, and it's after Alessandra Nacarato's Girlhood. I don't have patience to burn ants in a magnifying glass low-income townhouse. My parents throw stones and put-downs as though they've been repeated to them. Their lives, eating magic beans and teaching me debt. Itch my body beanstalk, climb outside of my head. Find myself disappointed in no cloud-born city awaiting me in the sky. Unnoticing of the stars. Tie wire to my skeleton. Electrifying the marrow to produce some kind of surge protector. Not myself to the technology of giants. A battery dependent on a circuit board I surrender my mind to. Understand. The name passed down to me had meant nothing. A collection of Hungarian markings on my anglicized tongue. The closest translation I could find for Bige was crumpet and girl leg. My mom cuts my hair to remind me it needs cutting. But I try to grow out this tangle of vine and cord to descend from the sky. I dye it blue-black without permission to match the night sky. And wear hand-me-down skinny jeans. Understand. Low-income complex means a life of borrowing. Inheritance, a feudal system, which, like the serfs of former ages, I can't afford. A lifetime of late rent. I think the land might forget, but I'm the new memory here. At 17, see my first coyote, but don't approach. Just witness bearing fangs and pawed pavement from 50 meters back near dawn. The sun threatens to rise. The coyote prowls back to the creek, and my chuckles make mist in the parking lot outside the local Real Canadian superstore. Musty choke. Really hyped to be sharing this track with y'all. On my way in, I happened to pass the beat maker, Immortal, so shoutouts. Yeah, if I was in my house, this would be when I'd be hitting my vape. This is called Vape Trick Magic, y'all, yo. Yo, check, yo. Crash, bang, boom outside the walls and windows, alive. It's been several minutes since I hit a glassy glazed pipe, shooting me into space, away from corporate states, away from all this waste, from all that they erased. It's like vape trick magic, we are sacred fasted. There's this hatred graphic, they take it then mask it. I'm sick of this rage, so just take it and take it and just take it away. Just take it and take it. Now I'm stoned in the evening without even toking, yo. They put it in my candy, this new way of forgetting, and so I calm the itchy burn in the way that I never learned. To take the wheel and steer before we were flattening the curve. I am dead certain that I would know courage if I left this circus on paved highway currents. I just dream of mountains, nowhere in specific. My stomach stuck with pistons and interrupting seismic. Have you ever felt the overwhelming feeling in the ribcage held when you imagine leaving? Have you ever felt the overwhelming feeling in the ribcage held when you imagine leaving? This terror is injected, the scalp left reddened. I feel hatred dejected, but try to find the lessons, the ways that they invade our land, our bodies betrayed, then made afraid, our spirits and our bloodlines. And then it's 9 to 5, or jail, or lives. The city, it needs to grind, the marrow, the mind. It's training me to be a lesser frequency, clogging up my arteries, disrupt my ancestry. So just carry me, baby, into Aurora scenes, beyond forgotten dreams. Have you ever felt the overwhelming feeling in the ribcage held when you imagine leaving? Have you ever felt the overwhelming feeling in the ribcage held when you imagine leaving? When you imagine leaving? When you imagine leaving. But I want our past to come back together. I want our past to come back together. We're always trying to leave. We're always trying to get away, separate, thinking that we're separate, thinking that we're not a part of any of this framework whatsoever. But that's just colonialism. That's what colonization does. It splits us apart from each other, thinking that we can't come together, puts us all into little silos, just naturally partitioned away from each other over and over and over again. It's so strange. Like, we think that this is us, but this is what a system pressed down upon us. And we need to shed it. That's what it means to decolonize, is to slowly come back together, to piece every little split apart chunk that colonialism divided, to come back together, to come back together. Sew me back together. Frayed thread, ancestral double helix bloodline. My struggle to untangle a soil-born origin of knit roots. It hurts. Snared by tide, toxic lasso. Yo, this choice was stolen for centuries. The pair of shears that cut me loose. My 2 dismembered couplings. Severing tendons from friends, parents to lovers. I felt cold stained steel blade upon net. Failing to sever. Break open. Neglect. Close. Break a branch, wood strands dangling, computer screen still attached, twisted with victim until the fibers give in, snap. Try to unknot. 7 generations of chicken wire fencing wound up to keep me bound in a lifetime of target. Usurped beating practices, yo, this isn't the way. To learn, to play, snap. 6 strings of a guitar, sinew string wrapped around my hand. Drum, the handle wrapped around my wrist, banding friendship brace. Let the threads thicken, strengthen. Braid into my hair something far more than just goddamn resiliency. So I choose who to weave for. Hold Dani bowstring, bending birch branch. Snap. Yo, that's a grappling hook arrow attached to 1,000 thread cord. To tug, tug. Pull, tightrope, climb. This 1,000-foot cedar, balance, find, that double helix, unsever, blood memory, remember. Masicho, hi, HKCM, OCM, Nina Nas Gomaten. I'm so happy that I got to share all this work with you. Big shout outs to Fifth Chord Studios, the beautiful techs that are working behind the scene and making all of this happen. Big shout outs to Stephen O'Shea with Arts Council New West, who approached me with a vision for something to bring all of this together. And for me, it's about getting rid of all those divisions, those silos that make art into one thing or another. The power of art is when it all comes together. And so that was what was behind this. And I'm so excited that I got to share all of it with you. So yeah, masicho, hi. I feel like if I didn't have these art forms and the ability to bring them all together, I don't know what I would do. So the last thing I'm gonna end y'all off with is a very, very fresh track. And I've just been working on it in the past month, and it's called Caldera. Yo, shoutouts to Max Carranza for the beat. Sprouting from the rubble, can't stop reaching for the sky, yo. Volcano under feet, erupting into my dreams. Knowing I'm never done serving sunshades of blessed autumn burning on the backs of my eyelids. The shadow important for me to witness. I dwelled in the dark, and in the dark I dwell. I dwelled in the dark, feel the river swell. I dwelled in the dark, and in the dark I dwelled. I dwelled in the dark, light emerging now. Or vision came from down, meteor crashing on down. Splitting open the clouds, understand how this comes about. Gravity grounded this stars, see into the crater that we have caught. Cavity of debris parts, curtain pulled off the radius across. Yo, I landed on this planet, system labels me as savage. So sticking to the plan and spirit, cradling this message. I have been in field operations, felt the energy stored within them. They tried so hard to make it dead, burned the metal to the bed with all their systems of oppression. Tried calling my lessons, these stresses and tensions arrested, aggressive, the presence surrendered. Don't pencil a sensor, I'll pull on the lever. For the month I spent up in that cell, felt empty records turned inside out. But running from the rubble, can't stop reaching for the sky, yo. Volcano under feet, erupting into my dream. The omen called me forth, rising blood, grapefruit, lunar force. Magma flow into trees, pine seeds popping from the heat. So no matter whose sword, finding love and strength through inner source. Knowing I'm never done serving sunshades of blessed autumn burning on the backs of my eyelids. Shadow important for me to witness. Looking up to see wings flying, standing worlds tall as northern giants. My prayers I sing defiant, thunder raise me to Orion. Saturn returns at once, rings expand with each and every touch. Please help me stabilize, I scream loud in between my cries. I no longer want to run, discard every single crutch. Breathe into my lungs alive now that I begin to recognize. I dwelled in the dark, and in the dark I dwell. I dwelled in the dark, feel the river swell. I dwelled in the dark, and in the dark I dwell. I dwelled in the dark, and I'm emerging now. Masicho, hi. HKCM, OCM. I'm so grateful to have shared all of this art with you.
Hi, my name's Jillian Christmas, and the poem I'm going to read is Confession. It is a poem that's assembled from a series of sexts. It's a found poem, and I think it's a good offering for Pride Month. Down in the basement, brave animals test the corners of a room, pressing stone barricades against fresh bruises. Here, where we squirm, boil, wriggle, snap. I curve my lip to make the music of a mouse, slipping between the cracks into new, safe darkness. You grin and growl, hungry as the cat who chased her. This is how it happened, distracted by thoughts of you, raised flesh, the feeling of ropes against my hands, naked belly, breasts, and palms pressed into the cold top of the table. Your knuckles finding my edges, that is a type of kindness too. I suppose everyone has their limits. Every so often I catch a glimpse of you in the window's reflection, pondering over your tools. You kept me there for a long time. Has it only been a day? Your mouth, the heart-shaped bruise you left on my thigh, rug burn on that elbow again. It hardly hurts at all anymore. I felt your voice move in my body. Is that why you crossed my mind? Confession. I've been thinking about your mouth so much today. There's this beautiful bruise between my breasts. Confession. In the dream, I'm both turned on and a little scared. My eyes are watering just thinking of it. You have that effect on me. Confession. There is a crescent shape on the inside of my lip from where you bit me. I ran my tongue along the ridge of it all night. Sometimes I hear my blood pumping when I think of you. Can I ask you a question? Did you have any nice dreams last night? When did you get off last? Are you home? Are you in bed? Would you like more distraction? Would you like that? Are you up? Can I ask you a question, please? Did you get off today? Are you at home? Can I touch you there? Are you home? Do you think I'm a good student? Will you tell me a story about us? Will it be a messy fix? Would you like me to? What is your sign? Want to know a secret of mine? I'm jealous of your hand. I'll be thinking of you all night. I don't want anything between us. That was how it happened. I started remembering and suddenly my hand slipped between my legs. You are very good at this distraction game. These fingers have a mind of their own. Please, yes, please, yes, and also, yes, please, yes. I enjoyed it very much. You're welcome. Thank you. Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I really miss you. God, I wish you were here. How will either of us ever be productive again? That's a legitimate question. This piece is for all of us who deal with mental illness, chronic illness. Probably been asked many times before, but have you tried yoga? But have you tried, I don't know, like wheatgrass? And when I get that question, this is the list that comes up for me internally. And in those moments that I really struggle, this is my checklist. And it goes like this. Have you wedded yourself to the edge of a knife, braided your names together like a promise, wrung your sweet voice until all of the valleys echo, hollow? Have you swum beneath possibility, carried the cross of an ending, found the bottom of your own seeking, drunk the false venom of delight, climbed back up the drain, made your way out, dripped in the sacred, filthy as all human and alive? Thank you. This piece is called They Said We Wouldn't Need These Life Jackets on Dry Land. Mama remembers herself, a little girl, turned away from a birthday pool party. Mama remembers herself, a little girl, turned away. Before we fly from Trinidad to the small island, we drive up the hill to stay in the big hotel. Now newly renovated, it has stood on this same perch for the better part of a century. Mama remembers herself, a little girl turned away from a birthday pool party because this big North American hotel didn't yet let brown girls bathe themselves in full sunlight. Somehow scared the world would be hypnotized by the shine. Probably even Mama didn't know she was a diamond in a pool of glass, the way they treated her. When we reached the hotel, nearly 50 years later, standing new and shiny in the same cursed spot, we learn that the pool is the last piece of renovations. It will not reopen until after we leave. Today, I saw a small blonde-haired girl drift back and forth. Impossibly buoyant child carried upward atop a weightlessness so deep and vast that she could not touch her feet to the bottom. The big blue stretched out around her, a clean white tile framing the scene in its perimeter. Mama was a little girl once. Once I was 2, maybe always will be someplace. After hours of travel, I pull the tiny computer from my pocket. Each blue image pouring from its screen, every one erupting new color. Some unknown and yet beloved brown face smiling after another. A newsreel of necessary medicine. Dancing dark girl pops her shoulder in my direction. Mean mugs until the camera looks away. Brown-skinned boy and his father blow each other kisses with a tenderness that quenches my dreams. The remedy is loving each other harder. Loving these brown bodies more than water, and deeper still. Mama remembers herself. Mama remembers herself. Mama remembers. This last piece is entitled We the Thirsty, and I offer it as a hope that in these really weird times, wherever you are, you're able to bring yourself to the shores of some water, because I do believe that that is one of the places we can find some healing, and I hope that for you very much. Well, I get thirsty every morning, feel wrung out like a rat, and I try to drink my way back to all that peace that I had. Just another ghost in my bed, another note on the door. Better carry my feet to the shore. Better carry my feet. Well, it's not the way she holds you or the way that she begs while you're dragging dirty clothes up the backs of her legs. You're just another wolf in her bed, another hound at the door. Oh, oh. And boy, you better carry your teeth to the shore. Better carry your teeth. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dear God, is it wrong that so long after our separation, I still see your face everywhere? The holy water between my legs when she touches me. The wet in her eyes, head pressed back, her sinner mouth too full of heaven. This bruised knee city, springing with all the wrong kinds of love and all the best company to enjoy it in. I was birthed into a church too comfortable with a God who would make closets into coffins. But I have been born again into the religion of lost souls, baptized under bourbon-kissed streetlight and a halo of smoke plumes. There is laughter and blood in my cheek, and more than enough of it to feed the masses. Today I see you in every busted lip and backroom handjob, my God, who has been so quiet. This must be your work, as baffling as all of your other mercies. Boy, your voice is getting rusty, all the things you never said. To all those witches and martyrs buried under your bed. They're just another voice in your ear, you hear them begging for more. And boy, they'll be waiting for you at the shore. We'll be waiting for you. Thank you.